Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
What's up guys, I'm Andy from 1A Auto. Today we're going to be doing a washer reservoir in this 2007 Mini Cooper S. If there's any parts you need for your vehicle, click the link in the description and head over to 1aauto.com. We're going to pull this center cap off. I'll just use a straight blade screwdriver. Slide it in here. Pull it out. I'm going to crack these lug studs free. I'm going to use a 17mm socket and a breaker bar. Just break them loose. We're going to raise and support the vehicle. We're using a 2-post lift. If you're doing this at your house, you can do it on jack and jack stands. I'll take these lug studs out with my socket. And once I get to the last one, I'm going to want to push on the wheel so it doesn't fall. Take this last lug stud out, put it aside, and then grab the wheel and pull it off. All right, we're going to take these push pins out. Some of these are Phillips head push pins. You take the center out, and then you can pull the rest of the pin out. I'm just going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. Loosen up gently on the push pin, and once it's about ½ an inch out, and you can grab it and pull it out. Sometimes you have to hold the base, and sometimes they won't come out. If you do it gentle enough, they will come out. If not, you can just get a straight blade screwdriver, get in behind it, and pry the center out. Now I'll pull this one out as well. This other one is a regular style push clip. Just pry it out with a trim tool. Pull it out. Yours may be different. We got all those out. Next, I'm going to take this Torx bolt out. There's a T30. I'm just using a T30 socket, extension, and a ratchet. Pull this bolt out. Underneath, you may have some other push clips, but on this vehicle, there's no other clips. So just double check that. We're gonna pry this away a little bit. We can pull these little caps off. Just spin them, twist them out. Spin it to the left, twist it out. Pull it back. We're just going to push it out of our way a little bit. I'm not going to take it out completely. Just leave it like that. All right, so this is the washer pump right here. We're going to disconnect the electrical connector. A little push tab here. Push on that to release the lock on the connector. Next, before I disconnect the hoses, I'm just going to grab the pump, slide it forward. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath if there's any washer fluid in it, because it is going to come out. Pry this little hose out of this retainer right there. And we'll let that drain. So to take these hoses off, I'm just going to use a small pick tool. Get in underneath the hose. Just go around the hose. It's going to break the seal. And I can grab the hose and twist it. Sometimes I gotta do it a little bit more. There we go. Pull that one off. We'll do the same for the inside one. Just twist it back and forth, pull it off. We'll let that drain as well. We'll disconnect this washer level sensor. We'll just push on the little lock tab, pull up on the connector. Just like that. Little lock tab right there. To remove the headlight washer pump, there's a connector right here. Just go push down on the lock tab, pull it up. It's kind of hard to see. There's the connector. There's a little lock tab on the connector. And we can grab the top part of the pump, just pull it out a little bit, and then wiggle it up. Just like that. And slide the pump out. And then to release the lock on here, there's a little button right here. Push that and pull the pump out. We're gonna have to disconnect these electrical connectors to the driving light and fog light. Push down on these. Disconnect those. There's another connector for the hose right here. It's just secured in there, so to get past that, get that out of the way. I'm gonna take these two Torx bolts out. I'm just gonna give myself more room with this harness. I'm gonna disconnect this connector right here. Just push down on that lock and pull it out. And then this side marker light right here. Push down on that, pull that out. Slide that harness to the side. I'm gonna take a T25, take these two Torx screws out. Pull that out. I'm going to take a small pry bar. You could use a small screwdriver and lift up. There is a little nub on the bottom of the tank that is just held in there. And I'll just slide it out. All right, so I got it out of that groove. I can slide this out. There's a push pin right here. I'm just going to use a trim tool. Pop the center up. And then pull the bottom part off. Now that's loose. All right, we're going to take these 4 10mm bolts out. We use a 10mm socket, extension, and a ratchet. Keep in mind this one is shorter than the other ones. Yeah, this one's just spinning. So the nut that is secured into the plastic on the back side of this headlight assembly, where this bolt screws into, just keeps spinning. It's corroded. So there's a little Torx screw underneath here, a T20. We're going to use a T20 Torx socket, extension, and a ratchet, and we're going to pull that out. So pull that screw out. Normally your headlight would just pop out. Ours stripped. This little nut thing was stripped, spinning in the plastic, and eventually melted and just came right out. So you wouldn't normally have to take all this stuff off. So we're just going to keep on going. To remove the headlight, there's some clips up here on the connector. Just push down on the top and push up on the bottom. Just wiggle the connector back and forth. There we go. See? So there's a lock on the top and the lock also on the bottom. Pull those out. Over here on the inside, there's a headlight washer. You just push this little button down and get the hose off. Slide it off just like that. To remove the washer reservoir, we're having a little trouble getting it out. This intake tube is in our way, so we want to remove that. To remove that, we're going to have to remove this coolant reservoir, pull this out of our way. So I'll use an 8mm socket, 8mm socket, extension, and a ratchet. We'll pull this bolt out. Then if you can wiggle this out, sometimes they'll just come loose, or just take a 90-degree pick. You can lift up to get this little bracket off the tab. And then we'll just sneak this out of the way over here. Just slide it there for now. It should stay. Then on the back side here, I'm just going to take, you can use a wider screwdriver. This is just a scraper tool. You want to get underneath here. Just pry, there's some locks in there. And then there's a lock on the other side. So just pull that out there. And then on this side, underneath here, some locks right here. Try to maneuver this out. It's just locked on the inside here. I'm just going to try to get that off. That's loose. Slide it back. I can pull it up. Just going to twist it, try to get it out of my way. Pull that, set that aside. Now with that out of the way, we can take the washer reservoir. We're going to spin it this way, and we're going to twist it almost upside down. And it's going to slide right out. All right, to reinstall this washer reservoir, I'm gonna flip this upside down. I'm gonna slide it through here. Then I'm gonna twist it Actually, we'll twist it to the left. It's the easier way to do it. And then make sure you position it in the right place. While it's loose, I'm gonna try to get that little nub on the bottom in there. And that's seated properly. This is lined up with the two tabs, two holes, and it's lined up top, just like that. Now that that's in, we can slide this intake ducting back through here. I'm gonna go past this part first. So that I can get it in down here. Once that's locked in, pull this back a little bit. And then slide this in. Might have to wiggle it a little bit. And this piece actually popped off, so I'm just gonna press that back in. Okay, so that tube is all set. Now we're going to slide this coolant reservoir back into position. There's a little tab down below that goes in there. That goes in the hole right there. And this gets lined up top, just like that. Take that 8mm screw and we'll snug this down. We'll put the little push pin back in here, lock it in place. So the lower bolt of the headlight was just spinning. The nut had come loose out of this bracket right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat up a nut and try to get it to melt the plastic and hopefully stay so that we can re-secure this headlight. This might work, it might not. All right, so I'm just gonna heat the nut up, get it nice and warm. It's gonna be getting pretty hot because the plastic's starting to steam a little bit. So let's turn this off. Carefully, I'm gonna try to push this on, try not to breathe in the smoke. Slide this in. Just like that. And then we're gonna let it cool. So our trick worked, melting the nut into this little bracket. And it's a good thing I left this bolt through here because some of the plastic actually melted to the bolt. So we left it in the freezer for about 10 minutes and it's all cured up and it appears to be working properly. So that'll fix up the situation. We'll be able to reinstall our headlight. So this is what one looks like in the vehicle. So there's a little like threaded insert in there, and that was just spinning in this. So now we just have a nut that's in there that we melted in there. So we'll reinstall this. You can probably buy these, but for time restraints, we had to just modify ours. So we'll just slide this back here. Slide this into position. Once that's in position, I'll take this little bracket, stick that back on there. That just holds it in place. I'll use this torque screw. This is a T30. And we'll just snug it down. Now we'll reinstall the headlight assembly. We're going to connect up the washer. Just line that up, lock it in place. The electrical connector, line that up, lock it down. Put the headlight in position. We'll take these bolts. The short bolt's going to go right here. Longer bolt over here. Another long bolt right here. All right, with the last bolt, I am going to use a little bit of anti-seize on this one. This is going to go into that bracket that we modified so that it doesn't get stuck in there again. Take a 10mm socket, extension, and a ratchet. Actually, I'm going to start this top one first. Get that one in position. You can kind of see where the headlight was before you took it out. We'll just snug that up. And we'll snug up the two front ones. Just snug. Snug, and then snug this last one up. We'll install these torque screws. Line this up. These are T25. Just use my T25 socket and a ratchet. Snug those up, not too tight. It is in plastic. All right, we're gonna install this windshield washer pump. Just slide this in here. This is gonna go down. Line that up and then push it down, just like that. This hose is gonna go on this side. Get that on. And then this hose is going to go on the back side. Make sure those are secure. And then this one can go into this little bracket on the reservoir. Just push it in, lock it in place. There's another little bracket right here. This can go in. It's all set. So to install this headlight washer pump, we're just going to slide this over here, get it lined up with the rubber grommet in there, and then lock it in. Take the hose, line that up, and lock it in place. Make sure it's nice and tight. I'll connect the electrical connector. Let's get it lined up. And lock it in place. We're going to connect these electrical connectors. Connect this one to the pump. So So these connectors are all a little bit different. They're all kind of keyed. So if one doesn't fit, then you probably have the wrong connector, and just try a different one. So this one is lock it in place. Then the next one, this is that marker light. It's in the fog light. It's not the fog light bulb, but it's that other little bulb in the fog light. It's kind of like curved on one side, and there is one corner. So we'll line that up, lock that in place. This one here is the fog light bulb. It's just an oval. Lock that in place. Now let's see. This square connector goes up here. Lock that in place. This connector right here goes to the side marker. And then this one, this connector right here goes to the level sensor. So we're just going to connect that and lock it down. Now we're going to reinstall the inner fender liner. Just get it back in position. So it's back in position. Install this torque screw. It's a T30. Snug it up with a ratchet. It's good. Next we'll install these push clips. We got one back here behind the strut. Push that in, lock it in. We'll do the same with the other ones. Sometimes these fingers are hard to push in. I kind of put it in a little bit and then try to push it down with my fingers. Sometimes rotating it helps. We can lock that one in. This is one of the regular style clips that we had. Lock that in. That's another one of these. Lock that in. Now I'll take these covers, line these little tabs up, rotate to the right. Same with this one. Line these little tabs up with the slots, rotate to the right. All right, now I'm going to reinstall the tire. Get this lined up with the holes. Push down on the center, make sure you have your lug stud with a socket so that you can get that started. And we're going to drop the vehicle down so the tire is just touching the ground so it won't spin, and torque the lug bolts. All right, now I'm going to torque these with a 17mm socket and a torque wrench. I'm going to torque these to 88 foot-pounds. And I'm doing it in a star pattern. That way the wheel will get tightened to the hub properly. It won't be warped. We're going to reinstall the center cap. These little ears are going to go into this little hub area. And this is indexed to the wheel. It looks like on this wheel it can go anywhere. It doesn't really matter. So we just want to line that up there and lock it in. And we're going to get some fresh washer fluid and we'll open the cap and we'll pour it in. close the cap, lock it in place, and then at this point you can double check, make sure you don't have any leaks underneath, and you'll be good to go.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.